Hello. I have a few things that I've been taking note on the last few times I've hung out with my son that I wanted to share with him and any of his friends or family members that are around, anybody that feels that this is something that is useful. So as I've spent time with him recently, I've noticed that he hasn't had, or that you are young, and this is the point of your life where you're learning how to interact with people and what's important and what your belief system is and how you're going to proceed throughout your life. And I feel it's real important to create a good foundation when you're building anything. And right now you're building your character. And so I think it's real important that you are taught the proper way to interact with people, because that's a very big part of life. And if you are good at interacting with people, you'll be good at life. Being good at life is much better than being bad at it. So, I mentioned this the other night, but my son, when playing with other children, or myself, or his mom, I've noticed he will almost try to control the other people's imagination and what they're thinking and how they're playing the game. And I understand control, wanting to play what you want to play. If you're wanting to play army guys and your mom is doing pirouettes or whatever dance moves with the army guys, well, you're getting attacked and you're fighting for your life, and your person you're playing with that's supposed to be helping you is doing dance moves. Come on, let's go. I'm going to court-martial you, But for instance, I've had this happen where we're playing zombies, fake guns. We're killing zombies. We're in a zombie apocalypse, and he'll be like, I'm gonna go downstairs and shoot him clear him out of the backyard from the kitchen. You keep shooting him from up top. And so I'll go downstairs in the kitchen. I'll hear him coming downstairs, and he'll come in the kitchen and be like, what are you doing? We killed them all. I killed them all. They all were dead a couple minutes ago, before I came down. Well, we can't talk, so I don't know that he's saying they're all dead, And so here I am for the last minute and shooting at air, and he's coming up to me like, what's going on? Why are you doing that? They've been dead. And then, or else we'll be in the front yard and be discussing what's going to happen next. We just killed a huge horde, and all in my imagination think, hey, one of them just popped up from the dead, kind of, like was injured and got up and is coming after us again. So I have to finish him off, and I'm just like, we're talking, I'm like, and he'll look and be like, there were none alive. I'll be like, well, one became alive, and no. And the other night we were playing Legos with his mom. We each had a vehicle and a guy that was armed with a weapon. His mom and I were trying to protect him and this egg he was carrying to get through to the destination. His mom starts shooting at an imaginary vehicle over here, and he's like, Mom, there's no one over there. And so, well, how or why she couldn't shoot whoever she imagines And why wouldn't more kills in a war game be positive? So, I was having trouble writing this. I said, it's taken me to an hour to get to this bleep point of let others imagine whatever they want. And so it might not go right along with what you're thinking, but it's just better off to let other people imagine what they want, because you can't control people's imagination. When you're using your imagination, it's impossible. Like, you can give them the basis of the game, like we did, and protect this egg. But when you're coming up with imaginary enemies or imaginary scenarios, it's impossible to control everybody's that's playing's imagination. And so, Driver, what I was trying to write the last page with that crappy pen that I could barely read is that you are projecting your own thoughts onto others a lot. Not too much for me personally, and often not too much for the kids you play with most of the time. Like, no one really, I don't think, cares about too much. But sometimes myself and the kids, or sometimes myself, because I want you to interact with people very smoothly. I want your life to go perfectly, which is, I know is not going to happen, and you learn through adversity. And so I figured adversity means like problems and conflict and stuff like that. So I figured, well, you're my son, and we have conflict just in that I'm the person that, you know, if I'm taking care of you, I'm the one that's telling you to do stuff you don't want to do, like brush your teeth, get dressed, take a shower, eat, stop playing video games, do your chores, stuff like that. So we're used to conflict. Between friends, there's not really much of a need for conflict. It's more of a support thing. And so, and the conflict between parent and child, it's a need thing also. It's like I'm supporting you. You don't, you know, I'm assuming you get that. If you don't, ask me. But, so, you know, it's just something I see that I think may possibly cause you conflict in the future, which conflict is good. It causes you to grow. But so this is me trying to keep you from growing, or from growing through a video instead of through real life. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad idea. Who knows? Anyway, so sometimes, like, I see the Milan, because he's a kid I played with mostly, and I think Jimmy probably would. I could probably think of instances with Jimmy, but maybe with video games or something. It's we get confused on what because we can't read your mind, so we get confused. It's like, okay, well, we're doing this, and then you know, we're wrong. You're very set sometimes in the way you imagine something, and if it's not exactly that way, you're not scared to tell us and set us straight, which is a good thing. For example, say Milan, you and I are playing the zombie game. You are in the office shooting in the backyard. Milan, this might sound familiar. Milan and I go downstairs to shoot from the kitchen. We are firing, and you show up in the kitchen and say, "What are you guys doing? I killed the last one a few minutes ago." Or we are standing in the front yard, and I imagine I see a single zombie coming up the street, so I fire at it and kill it, and you say, "There wasn't a zombie, what are you firing at?" Now, that's not really that big of a deal, but the problem with that is that either we respond to you that we are wrong, or that you are wrong, or we acknowledge that we are so dumb we are seeing enemies that aren't really there, which that's the case because it's imaginary. But to avoid this scenario, this one of us having to be wrong, you can simply just change your language on how you confront us not having the same view of the situation as you. And so, and the times that you do this, the times that I'm talking about, are usually when you want me or others to listen to your next plan, or you want to start the next objective. So it's like when you're ready to move on from something, it's like, okay guys, we killed all those guys. Oh, we're done with those. We're done. There's no more left. Stop shooting. Stop shooting. Stop shooting. You say, stop shooting a lot. So then, it's because you're ready to move on and you're ready to proceed, which is Cool, no big deal. So instead of telling people their imagination is wrong, you could just simply say, okay, like when you came in the kitchen, okay, you almost caught them all, 2 left. And then we'd be like, okay, driver's ready to be done. Especially me, because I'm facilitating you having a fun time. I'm ready, I'm letting you write the storyline. You know, so, you know, I don't really care that you're telling me I'm shooting at the air, but I'd rather just have it flow better, you know, like this is all in our imagination. This is a story we're creating, so why not just allow it to flow better? And because, you know, it's like, oh, this game we're playing, we need to sync up. And so instead of you being like, Dad, you're wrong, there's no guys there, what are you doing? You just be like, all right, 2 guys left, Dad, kill them. And I'm pop, pop, all right, what next, you know? So, you almost got them all. Get the last 2 and let's move to the backyard and do this, or help us kill them off very quickly. Be like, okay, there's a couple left. I'll help you. Okay, guys, now what? You know. Also realize there is no set script to these games. We come up with a general idea, but you know, each battle can be different. Like sometimes also I write in my head stuff to interest you, like oh no, it's a driver, they're coming, they're about to give me. And you'll have to, driver, I need help, shoot. You'll come in, you know, rather than just standing there and be like, doom, 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 doom. Okay, driver, are we done? You know, so us doing something that is unplanned by you only makes the game better to play, because it's like, you know, something exciting, something unique, something using your imagination, just like I just said, like, I need help, you know. Oh yeah, the song that I wanted to play at this point was a Pink song called Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken. And then I fell asleep and for a while woke back up and started writing. I said, driver, I was writing and apparently fell asleep, but as I was saying, it's all about flexibility. And that's basically what I've been telling you about is you know, like you come downstairs and we're still shooting and we're not doing something you don't want to do. You know, be flexible, which means, you know, you can give and take a little bit. You can bend. So instead of you come down and you come across something you don't like, instead of just being like, I don't like this, let's change it. You be like, okay, I don't like this. What's the best way to bend to get what I want? And so life in games, school, friendships, parent-child relationships, work, flexibility is huge. It's life, or at least moving through it without frustration and conflict, is all about flexibility. For if a person is flexible, they cannot get bent out of shape. Like it's also a physical thing. Like if you stretch every day and you're playing hard, you're not gonna get injured as easy because you're used to moving a lot. And so as well as it works physically, it also works mentally and behaviorally. So then, does that make sense, I write? Leave it in the comments. If you are able to put all this together, the seeing me shoot at zombies where your imagination didn't show any, add in flexibility to avoid either you or me being, forced to be wrong, then the wrongness disappears. Everybody's right, we're all good. It may sound little, and it is, but if you add another bad experience to one of our days before the game started, it may cause us to get upset. For example, say I got a speeding ticket on the way to your house, and you got in trouble at school that day. Both of us are, you know, kind of in a bad mood from that. We start playing, forget about that stuff, but then one of these situations comes up where you're telling me I'm wrong, and I'm like, oh, I'm in a speeding ticket, now my kid's telling me I'm wrong? Well, forget it, I'm done playing. Or, you know, this other way happens around, and I'm like, driver, no, I can, you know, there were guys there, I saw them. You're like, no, that's not what we were doing. And, you know, and you're like, I got into a fight at school, I got in trouble. You know, I'm not dealing with another adult that, you know, forget this, I'm gonna go play video games. And then we don't have this fun interaction that we have. So that's when it becomes important to be flexible and to build on those habits of give and take with people. So this is causing us to be in a bad mood. So when you tell me my imagination is wrong, I might say, what? No way, I'm right. And you say, no, I'm right. Then we both get butthurt, causing us to end the game. So the moral of the story is don't tell people what their reality is. Rather, work the two together as best you can. And the more you're willing to change what you think, the higher the chance of the interaction will be successful. So the more flexible you are, if you're willing to just play zombies and anything that happens, and that's how I play with you, because I'm an adult and I've learned all this stuff before, and you're a kid and you're learning this and you're going through it, so I allow you to have your way all the time. So the more you're able to do that, like I don't get frustrated playing, you know, a little, I do, because you know, I'm not perfect, but you know, a lot less than you do, you know, and you don't get frustrated that much either. You're good at this stuff, but this is just something that I'm a teacher and a helper, and I like to, and I want us to all be bosses, and this is how you do it. So the more you're willing to change what you want or think, the higher the chance of the interaction will be successful. So if you have a kid over that knows nothing of what I'm just talking about, it just my way or we're not playing, and you're willing to do that, then you're going to have a game. If you are the my way or no way kind, and there's another kid that's my way or no way, and you have different ways, you're not going to play. This in turn lowers the level of frustration and times of conflict there will be in your life. Boom. Less frustration, less conflict. What's the opposite of that? Happiness. Like I always say, happiness is a choice, and that should prove it.